The saga surrounding Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a boxing prodigy once hailed as the heir to Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s throne, has taken a dramatic turn, evolving from a narrative of athletic brilliance to one clouded by legal troubles, financial scrutiny, and questions about his legacy. At 30, Davis stands at the peak of his physical prime, yet his career teeters on the edge of a precipice, with federal investigations, allegations of financial misconduct, and a controversial draw against Lamont Roach painting a complex portrait of a fighter grappling with fame, money, and the consequences of his choices. This story, rooted in a quiet federal sweep that has ballooned into a full-blown investigation, threatens to overshadow Davis's accomplishments in the ring and raises broader questions about the intersection of wealth, celebrity, and accountability in professional sports. Davis, a Baltimore native and three-division world champion, has long been a polarizing figure in boxing. His explosive power, lightning-fast reflexes, and charismatic persona have drawn comparisons to Mayweather, his former mentor and promoter. But alongside his in-ring success, Davis's career has been marred by a series of legal and personal controversies, from domestic violence allegations to assault charges and a hit-and-run incident that landed him in legal hot water. Now, the discovery of large sums of unregistered cash in his Florida mansion has triggered suspicions of money laundering, forcing federal agents to re-examine his financial dealings and casting a shadow over his carefully cultivated image as boxing's next big star. The investigation began to gain traction following a 2023 burglary at Davis's Parkland mansion, which occurred while he was serving time for a 2020 hit-and-run case. The burglary, which saw millions in luxury goods stolen, including exotic cars like a Lamborghini Urus and a Ferrari SF90, raised eyebrows due to the sheer volume of wealth on display. At the time, the incident was viewed as a high-profile theft, but it now serves as a critical piece of the puzzle in a broader federal probe. Investigators reportedly uncovered stacks of undeclared cash during follow-up proceedings, money that was not accounted for in Davis's tax filings or banking records. The cash, stashed in his home rather than held in secure financial institutions, is a classic red flag in financial crime investigations, signaling potential efforts to conceal income or launder illicit funds. The findings have prompted authorities to dig deeper into Davis's financial history, uncovering a pattern of irregularities that stretches back years. Sources familiar with the case suggest the money may not be tied to any traceable or declared income, raising questions about its origins. The involvement of multiple federal agencies underscores the seriousness of the matter, with investigators reportedly exploring connections to criminal enterprises and examining whether Davis's wealth was amassed through legitimate means. For a fighter who has earned tens of millions through pay-per-view bouts and endorsements, the presence of such large sums of untraceable cash is both puzzling and alarming, fueling speculation about his business dealings and associations. Davis's legal troubles are not new. In 2017, an arrest warrant was issued after a childhood friend, Anthony Wheeler, accused him of punching him with a gloved fist during an altercation at Upton Boxing Center, resulting in a concussion. Initially charged with first-degree aggravated assault, the charge was later reduced to second-degree misdemeanor assault, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years or a $2,500 fine. In 2021, Davis faced more serious charges stemming from a 2020 car crash in Baltimore, where he allegedly ran a red light after a birthday party, striking another vehicle and injuring its occupants, including a pregnant woman. He fled the scene, later pleading guilty to charges including leaving the scene of an accident involving bodily injury and driving on a suspended license. As part of a plea deal, he was sentenced to 90 days of home detention and 3 years of probation, a relatively light punishment that allowed him to continue his boxing career. These incidents, combined with allegations of domestic violence and public altercations, have painted a troubling picture of Davis's life outside the ring. Yet, until recently, his in-ring dominance and marketability allowed him to weather the controversies, with fans and promoters willing to overlook his missteps in favor of his undeniable talent. Now, however, the financial investigation threatens to upend that delicate balance, with the potential to derail his career and tarnish his legacy in ways that previous scandals did not. At the heart of the story is Davis's complicated relationship with Floyd Mayweather Jr., whose influence looms large over his career and current predicament. Mayweather, a boxing legend known for his flamboyant lifestyle and financial acumen, served as Davis's mentor and promoter for years, shaping his approach to the sport and the business of fame. The parallels between the two are striking. Both are known for their defensive prowess, their ability to generate massive pay-per-view revenue, and their penchant for flaunting wealth through cars, jewelry, and cash. But Mayweather's own legal and financial troubles, including a recent lawsuit alleging his involvement in a real estate scam, have cast a shadow over Davis, leading some to speculate that the younger fighter may have been drawn into similar activities under his mentor's guidance. The timing of the allegations against Mayweather, who has denied any wrongdoing in the real estate scam, has fueled speculation about a broader pattern of financial misconduct within their circle. Fans and analysts have begun to question whether Davis, who idolized Mayweather and emulated his lifestyle, inherited not just his boxing prowess but also the darker aspects of his playbook. From hoarding cash to navigating legal gray areas, the similarities are becoming harder to ignore, raising uncomfortable questions about the culture of excess and impunity that surrounds some of boxing's biggest stars. Adding to the complexity is Davis's recent behavior, which suggests a man under pressure. In the past year, he has made headlines for erratic decisions, from announcing a sudden retirement to pursuing high-profile exhibition bouts outside his weight class. His controversial draw against Lamont Roach in late 2024, a fight many expected him to dominate, exposed vulnerabilities in his game and sparked debate about his focus and preparation. Some observers believe the draw, which saw a questionable dismissal of a ninth-round knockdown, was salvaged only by friendly judging, further damaging Davis's reputation as an untouchable talent. The Roach fight was meant to solidify Davis's status as a top draw, paving the way for a lucrative exhibition bout against YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul. The proposed fight, which would have pitted the 135-pound Davis against the 200-pound Paul, made little sense from a competitive standpoint but held immense financial appeal. For Davis, it represented a chance to secure a massive payday with minimal regulatory oversight, a critical consideration given the growing scrutiny of his finances. Exhibition bouts, often facilitated through shell corporations and international wire transfers, offer a degree of flexibility that traditional boxing purses do not, making them an attractive option for someone looking to move money quickly. Negotiations for the Paul fight reportedly reached an advanced stage, with both camps eager to capitalize on the hype. Paul, a savvy marketer with a knack for generating viral moments, saw the bout as a chance to elevate his boxing credentials, while Davis's team viewed it as an escape hatch, a way to funnel money through a high-profile event before federal investigators could freeze his assets. But the deal fell apart after the Roach draw, which complicated Davis's marketability and raised concerns about his reliability. Paul's team, wary of being dragged into a legal quagmire, quietly backed away, leaving Davis to face the rematch with Roach in August 2025 under mounting pressure. The collapse of the Paul fight is emblematic of the broader challenges Davis now faces. Once seen as boxing's cash cow, capable of selling out arenas and commanding nine-figure purses, he is increasingly viewed as a risky investment. Promoters and managers, once eager to align with him, are beginning to distance themselves, waiting to see whether the federal investigation will result in formal charges or asset seizures. Davis's inner circle, long criticized for prioritizing short-term gains over long-term stability, has come under renewed scrutiny, with some insiders suggesting that his entourage has exacerbated his legal and financial woes. In recent months, Davis has displayed signs of desperation, from launching side businesses to investing heavily in real estate, moves that forensic accountants interpret as attempts to diversify assets and shield them from potential seizures. His social media presence, once a platform for bravado, has taken on a more erratic tone, with cryptic posts hinting at external pressures and deleted Instagram lives alluding to efforts to take everything I built. These behaviors, coupled with his reluctance to address questions about his finances, paint a picture of a man trying to maintain control as the walls close in. For fans, the situation is a far cry from the promise of Davis's early career, when he was celebrated as Baltimore's finest, a fighter who rose from poverty to become a global superstar. His story, like Mayweather's, was one of triumph over adversity, but it now risks becoming a cautionary tale about the perils of fame and fortune. At 30, Davis should be chasing legacy-defining fights against elite opponents, cementing his place in boxing history. Instead, he is entangled in a battle that extends far beyond the ring, one that could determine whether he emerges as a survivor or a casualty of his own success. The rematch with Roach, scheduled for Brooklyn in August 2025, looms as a critical moment. A decisive victory could buy Davis time, reinforcing his status and providing a platform to rebuild his image. But another lackluster performance, or worse, a loss, could accelerate his downward spiral, eroding his leverage and leaving him vulnerable to legal repercussions. Beyond the ring, the federal investigation continues to unfold, with the potential to reshape the narrative in ways that no knockout can counteract. The boxing world watches with a mix of fascination and trepidation, grappling with the reality that one of its brightest stars may be on the verge of implosion. For Davis, the allegations are a reminder of the sport's underbelly, where street politics and underground economies often intersect with the glitz of pay-per-view. For others, they are a broader commentary on the human cost of prioritizing money over meaning, a lesson that resonates far beyond the confines of the squared circle. As the clock ticks, Davis remains a man at a crossroads, his talent undeniable but his future uncertain. Whether this marks the end of his fight career or the beginning of his biggest battle yet is a question that will define not only his legacy but also serve as a stark warning to those who follow in his footsteps. The tank keeps rolling, fueled by defiance and desperation, but the road ahead is fraught with obstacles that no amount of bravado can overcome.